Now the price I paid for that was a staggering. Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm gonna show you what it has actually cost me last week to get my Golf GTE serviced at the nearest Volkswagen dealership. Now with all my cars I have done the service myself, but with the GTE being a hybrid and all, and also I just want to have a car because it already is in a good shape. I want to keep it that way, and for once I just thought, hey, let's just take it to the dealership and see what it will cost me to get the car serviced. I bought this car not last December but the year before. It had 51,000 and a bit kilometers on the clock, and then 15,000 kilometers later I did the oil change myself. That is because that is considered small service, where you only do the oil. Now with 15,000 kilometers later, that's where we're at right now, 79,000 and a bit kilometers. It was time for an inspection. That's how Volkswagen calls it, which is basically a large service where maybe parts get replaced, brakes, tires, whatever. Now the price I paid for that was a staggering 935 euros and 21 cents, and in this video I'm gonna show you guys what you can expect for that amount of money. A lot of people will tell me, whoa, that's insane, you have literally paid $1,000 for service on a car that's pretty much fault-free. That is true, the car is generally fault-free, but I just want to see this as some sort of information. Also for me it was a bit of a test, just take part in the experiment. What can you do with this car? What are the things that you can do yourself, and what are the things that you cannot do yourself and the dealer must do. Now keep in mind, my car is 6 years old. It's from 2015. I have almost done 80,000 kilometers with it. Before I took it to the dealer, I tuned the car back to stock. So because there was a certain recall, I'll get back to that in a minute. And because it was a recall that I didn't really know what they were gonna do, I thought I'm gonna put the car back to stock, be safe, and yeah, let's just see what happens. Okay, now we're gonna break everything down what they have done, starting from the beginning. Large service. The starting price for that is 239 euros and 67 cents. The first thing is brake fluid. They've done a brake fluid change on this car because I think that it was due. The cost for that was 78 euros and 51 cents. Then the next thing is a fuel injection cleaner. This is just something you just pour in the gas tank and be done with it. Nothing too fancy. 10 euros 26 cents. And the next thing is the air filter, which is in the engine compartment. It's pretty easy to replace on these cars. So, but that was 45 euros and 45 cents. So, with most of the things you can do by yourself, maybe the brake fluid is something you want to get done by a shop, because with a car you can do it yourself, but it's a pretty big deal to do yourself. And it's pretty easy if you have the proper tools to do brake fluid yourself. So maybe that's one thing you want to get done by a shop. Okay, next page. Okay, the next thing is a cleaning of my sunroof. Now this was only 20 euros and 66 cents, but I'm pretty happy they have done this. Why? Because my sunroof was actually creaking a bit when I was driving, when the roof was closed. There was a very annoying squeaking sound coming from the roof. This was only last month or so. Maybe it has something to do with the temperature getting a bit higher, seals getting a bit tighter. I don't know what it is, but they have cleaned it, and they have put some grease in it. And also what I know is that they have also declogged the water drainage of the sunroof. Which I never knew that was clogged in the first place, but you want to have that open, that if water gets up there, you just want it to have the ability to drain properly, or else, well, you can get water, at some point you will get water into your car, which you probably don't want. Okay, next thing is inspection. That's 53 euros 72 cents. It's kind of vague. I don't know what inspection is. I have gotten a sheet here that has, it's basically a list of the parts to inspect. I will get to that in a minute. Next thing is interior filter. This is the filter that is behind the glove box, and yeah, that's basically your air conditioning filter. I think that's pretty important because you're basically breathing it in. Yeah, maybe that's the thing. Just have a good filter in there. But that's oh well, it is pretty expensive here. 45 euros 45 cents. Also the same as the air filter. But okay, well, don't know about that. Maybe most of the time an interior filter is like 10 or 20 euros, but here it's a bit more expensive. Oh, here's the sunroof. Water drainage, 12 euros and 40 cents. So they have one which is basically cleaning and greasing, and the second one of the sunroof is water drainage. Okay, two separate things. I did not know that. Okay, anti-leakage. I think that has to do with the tire. They've put something in the car. The cover for that was for the tires. 20 euros 62. I didn't really know what that was, but it said, hey, it's pretty useful, and it's only 20 bucks. So I'm like, okay, on an amount of money that big, I just wanna try that out. Okay, almost there. Okay, interactive function. I don't know what that means. That's 33 euros 54 cents. I believe it was they had something to do with the radio. They updated something. They told me something about it. Don't know the details of that, unfortunately. But 33 euros 54 cents. I think it was an update to the radio or something. They charged the battery. That's not the high voltage battery, but the 12 volt battery. I would say it gets charged while driving. So why would you need to charge it? But I've seen this multiple occasions on cars, services, that they will charge the 12 volt battery, only 11 euros and 18 cents. That's not too expensive. And the next one is a pretty interesting one. That is micro switch installation. That's 78 euros 25 cents with the part itself, which is 41 euros 52 cents. So combine that together, you get about 130 euros. What that is something that was a fault of the car. I didn't really have a lot of issues with that, but there is a sensor in the DSG knob, the shift knob, whereas sometimes, just on very rare occasions, you get this message in the screen that says put vehicle in park before leaving the car, and it's a sensor that is down here below. It's a very small sensor that I believe it's soldered in place, so you cannot just pull it out and put it back in. You have to solder it, I believe. And but the message gets there, and it's basically a sensor that sees if the car is in park, yes or no. The weird thing is that you can still drive your car, you can still use it just normally. They've spotted this when reading the fault codes, and they have replaced it. It was 130 euros, but I really do not feel like soldering on my own car. And the wipers front and rear, mine were heavily worn. I wanted to get a new one, and yeah, I was there. I thought like, okay, just put them on. The set that was previously on, it was the first set. They really stayed good for a lot of years. So I thought, hey, the factory ones are pretty good. You can get cheaper ones, but I don't know if you get the same quality. These were 45 euros 79 cents to the front, and the rear wiper was 13 euros and 16 cents. Now, I had a loaner car, which I used for 2 days. They only charged me 1 day. That's very kind, but that's 22 euros 72 cents. This may vary depending on the car you get, which leads me to the total costs, excluding tax, 772 euros 90 cents with 21% of tax, with a grand total of 935 euros and 21 cents. So yeah, now I see I've already getting quite some comments of friends like, hey, you have a GTE, you're saying the car is pretty cheap to run, but you get like 1,000 euros a check on a service where there aren't actually a lot of parts replaced. Yes, that is true, but also on another note, you only have to do oil every 15,000, which you can do yourself. And I remember that the oil change I did, it wasn't more than 100 euros, just the oil, the filter, and the gasket for the sun plug. And that's the only thing you have to do every 15,000, and the rest of the car has to be checked every 30,000. So the way I see it is you pay 1,000 euros now, which is a lot of money, obviously, but to keep this car in a very good shape. I mean, the car has been fault-free for me. I've been enjoying it. It's very cheap to run. It's pretty fast. It has a lot of power, and just to put such an amount of money in it, a bit below 1,000 euros, to enjoy it for 30,000 kilometers, I think that's pretty reasonable. If I look at my previous car, BMW, it had issues all the time, and this car is generally very reliable. So yeah, maybe just think about it for a minute. And what they have done is, I was talking about a checklist of the things they have checked, and I'm just gonna go through it very globally. And there are a lot of points here. The inspection includes light in the car. Okay, check if it works. The horn works. Charging cable, which is in the boot, they check that. The water sprayers for the headlights, it works. Lights in the front, all the lights of the car, they check it. Turn indicators, the automatic sensors of the light, it works. Windscreen wipers, the windshield, does it have any cracks, yes or no? Check for any rust of the car. Does it have rust somewhere on the body of the car? Sunroof grease. Okay, they even check the color of the grease. I did not know that. They check the charging port in the front, in the grille. Okay, brake fluid, if the brakes work. Motor oil, what the level is. They check the engine bay for leaks, damages. They check the gearbox, the drivetrain, all the rubber parts for leaks, damages. They check the control arms, bearings, stabilizers. Check. Okay, those are things you can check, but you have to get under the car. Basically, they check the brake pads, the brake discs, front to back, obviously. Brake system, exhaust for leaks, damages, mounting, shock absorbers for leaks. They check the whole downside of the car, the underside, if there are damages to the brake lines, fuel lines. And warning signs, and the warning signs is a pretty interesting one, because there was a recall for this car that actually required Volkswagen to put a sticker on the car. And I'm going to check where the sticker is, but there was a sign, I think it was 93H3, and there was some debate on the internet where what this recall is. Would you finally get a new high voltage battery or not? Well, you're gonna get nothing. It's basically just a sticker. I'm just gonna find out where the sticker is. But yeah, check the tires, pressure in the tires. The pressure's good. Also the wear on the tires, they're checking it out. And is there more? Oh, there is more. Yeah, okay, check the battery, check the hybrid components, check the cables for the hybrid components, coolant, that's something I was wondering. Coolant, you have a coolant system for the engine and a coolant system for the battery. They check both, obviously. If it needs to replace, they're gonna replace it, but that was not necessary for me. Okay, air filter, interior filter, service indicator. They're gonna reset the service counter timer. So yeah, that's basically it. It's quite a bit of detail, quite a big list. Still, I would love to hear what you think of this whole Volkswagen experience. But I can really understand if you think like, whoa, this is way too expensive for what you get. I understand that, but I also understand if you say, hey, I'm enjoying the car, I want the car to be in a perfect shape and to stay that way, that I'm gonna spend a bit more money, because you know it's only 30,000 kilometers, 2 years, every 2 years. So I think that's a reasonable amount. Every car needs service at some point, and I can understand both. So please keep it civilized if you are gonna post a comment. So yeah, like, subscribe, comment down below, and see you next time.